Yep, here we are again. Forgive me for the slamming doors and, you know, shit you're about to hear outside of my door. Keys jingling, shoes squealing. That's what happens when you're in your own space speaking truth. And you ain't got nothing but fucking community devils around you. It's so funny, whatever this program is, I know y'all been attacking me forever, bro. Y'all been attacking me for a long ass fucking time, bro. Even when I was in Atlanta, you know, I didn't really deal with the gang stalking synchronicities there. I knew about gang stalking when I was in Atlanta, but I wasn't worried about it, mainly because I was getting harassed by the cops every damn time. I wasn't really getting harassed by the community. You had some motherfuckers that was like nothing but, you know, bad memories with those certain individuals. Of course, they turn on a big ass fan outside my window as soon as I turn on the video, right? Sorry. Give me a minute. There we go, that's much better. You know? When I was down South Sea, I'm gonna tell you a little thing about me. Pittsburgh taught me to hate my own people. Because when it came, even when I was age 1 to 15, it was like I received nothing but bad, traumatic memories from my own people. And then when I went down south, I went down there with the same kind of attitude. Don't trust black people, you know. And then Atlanta taught me that you can go to your people for anything. I don't really want to go into details, but Atlanta taught me to go to your people for anything, you know. And coming back to this city and then experiencing how my harassment is majority coming from, you know, melanated people, you know, it just hit me, bro. These people are too weak to go against the system. They now the government bitches, you know, sellouts, house Negroes. You know, history always repeats itself. I firmly believe that shit. And I know I'm the runaway slave. And I know these are all the house Negroes. You know, it's fuck the system, bro. See, the problem is that people's enslaved to $1. They value materialism and money over human life. Targeted individual, that's why you torture so bad. That's why it seems like there's so many of them, because there is. All they see is dollar signs when they look at you. You know, created hatred, projecting you to be some type of monster, when in all actuality is the people they receive these directives from is the real monsters, the real devils. You know, and I'm just learning to not put your faith in man. That's why I no longer believe in, you know, this spiritual community crap and all these people coming out of nowhere. No, God is the only way. I can't really explain it. You know, and I'm not going to get into detail about, you know, my beliefs on God. I just know you have to give your faith into something higher than yourself. Because man will fail you every time. And for my other TIs out there, my real TIs, you know, perps, sit back, shut the fuck up, no one's talking to you. You know, for my real TIs out there, work on yourself, man. Eat right. Make sure everything you're consuming is healthy for your body. You know, stay away from smoking. You know, if you're a person who smokes 420 and you're actually able to get untampered marijuana, if you want to do it, then do it. You know. But I'm letting you know you might be a little bit better without it. Just saying. You know, it might do you some good. You know, but for my example, I was forced to stop either way because the whole city just stopped. You know, when it comes to me, I can't get marijuana anywhere, so it is what it is. But I guess sober minded. And it's just so funny through the indirects and subliminals. I used to hear how I was a fiend and shit for weed and all that crap. But you stop doing it. You ain't smoked real more marijuana in like a year or so. I think it's been about a good year. Been about a good year since I actually smoked good marijuana. And then you see the same motherfuckers who was hit you with indirects and subliminals, about, oh, he's a fiend and shit like that. Now you see them downtown limping and shit, and high off that shit, that K2 or whatever. Everything you deal with as a targeted individual is projection, bro. Everything they call you is everything that they call you is what's running rampant throughout the community. And at the end of the day, bro, I see society is just filled with weak people, man. You know, and it's like I'm not trying to down nobody, and it's not really their fault, because at the end of the day, we're dealing with something truly demonic, something that truly wants to control all aspects of life. You know. Your ambitions, your dreams, everything that you chase for in life is another entity's creation. And that's where I'm at in life, bro. That's what I see. I see that we're just ants in an ant farm, cattle, on a milk farm, just being sucked, the life sucked out of us. We're dealing with something that's truly wicked, something that's not of God. Maybe God's shadow, God's darkness. For these entities to have this much power, and the people that they use are something very dark, bro. Something that should have never been born into this reality. And there's a chosen few in the world, bro. The ones who's really fighting against that principalities, bro. The Watchers, these I don't know how to explain it, bro. Minions of Satan. Just these evil people who it's like they like to suck the fear out of you, your misery, it's like their whole objective is to keep you in some low vibrational state, They don't want you to feel happy. They only want you to be happy if you got money, things outside of you, materialism. Well, really, I don't know. Even when I think about everything I experienced in this life and where I'm at in life, I know my inner happiness comes from within. And I know other positive people, other people who just have this good energy about them, people like that make me feel good, Even my environment, they got me in a controlled simulation. Every day I step outside, whether it's because people are paid to, whether people heard about the rumors and lies, whatever things they're saying about me. At the end of the day, every time I step outside, it's a controlled reality. Now, I know when it comes to being targeted, there's all different types of people that's facing different levels of this program, and I'm just here to tell my story. I'm just here to explain how I'm being kicked out of a whole city, hated by a whole city. This shit is everywhere. But I can tell you right now, if I go to a red state, a state like Atlanta where we still at war with the cops, I know the level of harassment I'm dealing with in Pittsburgh, I know it will never be this bad. And I don't want to hear that, oh, it's going to be, it's everywhere, man. I'm tired of them bots, bro. I'm tired of them bots. I know Freemasons, I know Watchers, I know not high vibrational, yeah, anything but that. But I know people in control. I know y'all want me to stay in Pittsburgh so I could continuously have these bum ass niggas that have a place to stay. I can continuously have people leeching off of me, getting paid, crime shooting down whenever there's a targeted individual in the area, because y'all even have innocent people and criminals honed in on one person. I know, bro. And I know soon as if either way, if I die, I know they get a big payout and they celebrate and shit. But if I leave or whatever, it's back to the struggling streets for y'all bum asses, bro. The real devils. They ain't working a real job. who's literally your life's work is harassing and inducing, psychological problems into the target. See, I'm really learning to not really care because I understand when it comes to this program and my situation and living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, they at this point they're just flexing and showing me how much power they got, you know, just showing, yeah, nigga, we got the whole city under control. There ain't shit you could do. You gonna be miserable. It's funny the amount of shit people got to do to you to have you miserable. If you ask me, ain't like truly happy people is not going to participate in somebody else's destruction. But then again, unless you're one of these dark beings and shit, personally, I feel like, they like to do that shit. They like harassing, they like torturing, you know. That's why I know the people really participating in this program, they're not good people. They're either crazy or they're weird, they're sadistic, they're evil, easily manipulated, easily controlled. I know that for a fact. They're not strong-minded people. That's sad because it seems like in this world, anyone who seems like they have some type of intelligence and they kind of break free from, this controlled reality, we're the type of people that experience the most bullshit within life. I'm not trying to say, I'm struggling and I'm worse off than you. Fuck all that, fuck all that victim. I'm the biggest victim game. Fuck out of here, bro. When I explain the things I'm going through, bro, I'm not trying to compare myself to others. I'm not trying to fucking, be like, oh, go care about me. I'm going through this bullshit. No, I'm just simply telling you how desperate these evil ass Freemasons, Luciferians, demonic shadow people, whatever you want to call these people, bro, the lengths that they would go through to try to turn somebody crazy, and then got the audacity to be like, you're the crazy one, you're the weird one, you're the strange one. And I wake up every day and I mind my own fucking business and deal with demonic attacks from all angles. And isn't that funny how that works out? You're a threat to the society, but every day you wake up, you mind your own business. And all day, every day, these niggas is street theater, harassing tactics, coughing subliminals, noise campaigns, street theater, crisis actors, just bumping, flash mob, crowded, looking at you funny, looking you sideways, playing with you, belittling you, treating you less than human. The list goes on, bruh. And for the real TIs that's watching, you want to know why they call you so crazy and weird? It's because out of the thousands or maybe millions of people they done harassed, they done pushed to suicide, they done killed somebody else, watched their minds deteriorate over time. Somebody like us, we see everything, and we're not having it, bro. And I feel like people, why they probably assume I'm an asshole or I act like I'm better than everybody else, is because I have a low tolerance for bullshit. I'm not going to play these games with you. I'm not going to entertain your shenanigans. Nah, bro. Ain't none of that shit. I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do until the day I die. And if y'all helping me push me to an early grave, then so be it. At the end of the day, y'all understand that y'all will never have my mind the way y'all want it, bro. It ain't never happening. Because this whole life, while people was looking outwardly and chasing the world and chasing these titles, so like these, I don't know how to explain it, bro. It's this control reality that they got y'all focusing on. I chose to focus on my mind, to battle my thoughts, not looking outwardly for help, but looking inwardly for help. And to where my mind is at, yeah, I wish I would have realized a long time ago. Now it's kind of too late, I got all type of growths in my neck and shit. Things I don't really want to scare people with, it is what it is. We all gotta die, right? And as far as I'm concerned, there's There's no point in really even living in this world, you know, especially if you can't find nobody to love. You can't find no like-minded people. They got you in a controlled environment, reality, all day, every day. I mean, why fear something, you know? Why fear the inevitable? Especially living. Everybody just looking at you like a monster. Nobody wants to be around that shit, you know? And I guess the only thing that really, you know, kind of irks me is that these baby blood drinking evil assholes will eventually get to live their best life, you know? That's why you always hear, you know, these people 80, 90 on a deathbed telling you about, you know, how many slaves they used to have or how many people they killed and shit. Like, I understand this is a test, bro. This is a test to bring out the worst in you or to bring out the good in you. And y'all had me for a long time. Y'all had me for a long time. These demons, man, I've been fighting these demons for so long, bro. They had me doubting myself. They had me going a little, you know, fear and all that shit, but, you know, that shit don't live with me no more. I've been fighting for a long time. And I could tell y'all, these leaders in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, oh yeah, they got this city under control, bro. They got these people moving around like slaves, puppets on a string. You know, it's sad, bro. Cause it's like fuck my harassment, fuck my torture. I could tell how the community itself suffers. Like, just they have a type of misery I hope I never develop myself, bro. You know. And the excuse is, oh, we're watching you because you're a threat. You're the animal, you know? Every day, turn on your news right now. People getting shot, people getting kidnapped, children disappearing. I mean, Philadelphia, like a couple of months ago, 17 black children went missing. You know, y'all don't catch the real criminals, bro. If y'all really did catch the real criminals in this reality, then, you know, and I hate to repeat it, but I really be wanting people to understand what you're dealing with. You know, y'all really doing the right thing and y'all actions is justified, but worldwide, 8 million kids disappear yearly on the year. For 34 years I've been alive, it's been like that forever. So ask yourself, even the flying monkeys that's participating in this program, ask yourself, you know, slamming doors, you know, you feel me? Too much truth for them. But ask yourself, if that was really the truth, and y'all really using a whole city to attack Pacific people, wouldn't those numbers decrease, increase, or, you know, or not? Well, yeah, decrease, wouldn't it dwindle? Shouldn't crimes go down? You know, shouldn't kidnappings go down? You know, and the truth of the matter is the ones who program y'all and give y'all the directives and the orders to torture innocent civilians within your own community, all they're doing is attacking the people who can see. We're the scapegoats for these demons who control the system. So while the whole community's eyes is focused on Pacific people who are supposedly threats to the community, niggas are still getting kidnapped, still getting sacrificed, still getting killed within your own communities. That's why it's like, I can't help it, but I have respect for, I don't want to say I have to respect, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't want to say admire, no, not that. I don't know the word, but it's like, I don't know, it's like, it's crazy because it's like the control that they have over people. It's like, that amazes me, bro. You know, they really have a type of power to control the minds and the emotions of people within the communities. Like, that shit can have a motherfucker looking at you with pure hatred and they never uttered a word to you. You know, that's why I know when I say people are weak, bro, I'm not, you know, I'm not saying it's how you live, I'm just talking about the mind, you know. Like, people have weak minds, bro, easily controlled, easily manipulated to do whatever the system want them to do. When you don't have that same effect, when you're not easily controlled, when you're not easily manipulated, you're not letting people walk all over you, you're the crazy one. Oh, you're the dangerous one, you know, because you're not paying attention to the bullshit around you. And then when you say, fuck it, I'm gonna go my own way, I'm gonna do my own thing, oh, you trying to be better than us. We doing this, you not doing this. Oh, so you hating. You mad because you ain't got it. It's just like, if I had to be mad about one thing, because I feel like the type of soul I have, and I'm not making no excuses, I shouldn't do better or anything, but I notice a pattern within my own life. I'm the type of person whenever a female's with me, there's something about me that makes me, the things I do by myself, in isolation or whatever, I do less of. Like, I'm not on the game, I'm not watching movies. Like, whenever I had a spouse in my life, I focused on bettering myself for that person. Whatever female was in my life, I don't know. I feel like there's like souls here that had just, I don't know how to explain it, bro. We just do better. We just do better when we have a spouse by our side. It is what it is. But I know that's why they attack me a certain way. Depriving you from females, friendships. Like, y'all really have a type of evil I hope I never develop, bro. I don't care if I die, I won't be fear of death. Well, at least I know one thing's for certain. This world didn't get the outcome that they wanted from me. Death, that's the only thing I could possibly see, but it's like we all gotta die. No matter if you're able to live 500 years like some of these rulers, you still gotta meet an end. It's the ultimate cycle. I really feel like I can bring a lot of spiritual videos, man. Especially when I smoke. I'm not the type of person I sit there and smoke and, like worldly people have sex, play the game and shit. Like, nah, I be in deep meditation. When I'm able to smoke real gas, nigga, I be meditating my ass off. It feels so good to smoke some gas and literally go to meditation. I used to write poems, I used to write raps, everything. But it's like now you can't get none of that shit. But you hear the random voices outside my door and shit. How they gotta get right up on you. Like when it comes to the car synchronicities, the loud engines, the slamming doors, shit's all day, bro. You can't never hear shit in the distance, like down the hallway. Nope, you gotta be right in front of my door with the bullshit, right? And these are the people calling you crazy and weird. It's weird for you to sit in your room in your space the whole time. Yeah, I know. Go ahead, sit in a room all day by yourself. No music, no technology. You just sit there. Most of these people will lose their fucking minds, bro. Like, I wish I can sit in that total silence room. I kind of feel like I'll be able to sit in there for 24 hours. The ultimate peace. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. Now I'm hearing knockings all over the floor and shit. Like, they always got to remind me how much control they have. And I'm understanding it's an energy thing. When I'm in my own room and I'm getting deep, I'm really thinking in my head, I'm looking for answers. That's when I notice an increase in the sound frequencies, whether that's people talking, noises, engines outside, whatever the case may be. Like, you know. Look, you're talking now. Every time. But if I was sitting here in silence, not making a sound, I'd just quiet, you know, just chair sliding, different noise and frequencies, you know. It may not make sense to the average thinker, you know, a normal person in society, you know. But for people who have that sense, that knowing that God is with you and in you, pause, no diddy. But real shit, like you really got God in you. God's really helping you. God's really showing you the way. You know, you can see this evil. You may not want to be a part of it, but understand, give TIs they props, because we really fighting demonic forces. They really need us to die in sin. They really need us to suffer, because it'll be worth it if you go to hell and then they go to hell, and you know, that's the real victory. If you can die in sin, die miserable, think about it. Look at all they got to do. Even now, I don't know if the phone is able to pick up these little clickings and knockings around the walls right now. But it's funny how that starts, you know. This is how you know you're dealing with street theater. Is this, now I'm hearing these random clicking, you know, around me. And then at the same time, you hear the dude talking out of nowhere. You know, it's fucking pathetic, bro. These people are weird, bro. Like real weirdos, bro. Something that's just like, these people are just, oh man. This is why I don't get annoyed, bro. I ain't mad, you know. It's just now at this point in my life, this point in my harassment, I really just be feeling sorry for people. Because that's all they can do, bro. That's all they can do. Psychological warfare, do things to bother you. You know, throw you off your little vibe that you want. You know, niggas getting mad because they sitting outside your room, listening to what you doing every second of the day. And then you start speaking your truth, letting your energy flow, then they can't take it, you know. They gotta try to control that again. They gotta try to shut you up, you know. Man, and I could just feel that energy, bro. You know? They really don't want people to really hear your truth. They want to turn you into something unrecognizable. Destroy your mind. You know, get you to focus on what God truly is for you. You know, niggas going crazy. I hope the phone picking that up, bro. Niggas going crazy, bro. Like, yeah, I gave y'all 28 minutes of this knowledge. Now it's time to fucking put my music in, block out the world with the headphones on. If you know, you know. This is Bahamut. I'm out.